and welcome back to Rocco's Forum. We are discussing infill developments in the region, and we dealt with two ratepayers, one in the Markham side, one in the Vaughan side, and now we have Sandra, as we did at the beginning, my wife Sandra and Rocco, who's a council in the city of Vaughan. Sandra, you have also a number of issues on this topic, not only in your area, but also citywide. Where are we experiencing some problem involved right now?
Yeah, I think the issue is that we are getting a lot of applications in because, one, people are taking advantage of the fact that, well, because the province says we need to intensify, so people are coming in and say, well, I'm intensifying areas. And so we're getting many different requests, but not always in the proper areas. So we've had areas over by Pine Valley and Langstaff area. We have areas like Keogh and Major Mac area. We have Islington and Martin Grove area. So we're getting all sorts of requests. And the problem that we're faced with as a elected official is making the proper decision, because everybody is lobbying you. Everybody wants their place to intensify to make a bit of money, obviously. We need to stick to our official plan, and that's the reason why, in fact, the city has taken upon itself to review that infill, the low density infill policy, to see what is the right policy in place. We need to have these policy in place so that it's going to help us and it's going to guide us as well as our planners how to make these decisions. So we've had, actually, in fact, we've had a number of public consultation already, 3 of them in total, and now the staff has gone all the comments back and everything, and they will be coming back to us in fall of 2016, later this year, with their recommendation to council.
And then at that time, council may or may not make a final decision.
Correct, yes.
And when that decision is made, how would that decision affect, for instance, the application on Dufferin between Rutherford and Major Mackenzie, or the one on Southview? Would those be affected? No,
unfortunately, I did ask that question to staff, because those applications are already in its process. It will not be affecting those. However, in everything in the future, we will be able to rely on that. But having said that, the policy will still give us a guideline. So as we make decision from a council perspective, we can at least rely on those type of policies to make that decision, proper decision. So for example, in my area, I have an area, very, very old area at by Keogh and Highway 7 area. We have an applicant that has come in. They've taken out. This is an area that is zoned as R1V.
Tell us, why would the resident be upset on that matter?
Well, as I said, it's zone R1V, and if for people that don't know, it's an old village residential. It's very big estate lots. That's what they are.
20% coverage, if not less.
The minimum is 30 meters frontage, and the coverage of the area is anywhere about 850 meters square minimum. Okay, so these are big lots. So we now have an applicant that has decided he bought 2 big lots and said, well, I'm coming in, I'm going to divide it up to 6 lots. So of course the residents are up in arms. It's totally that, because what they're asking for is an R1 or R2 residential. So you're looking at 18 meters frontage as opposed to 30.
Simply, instead of 2 homes, they're looking at 6 homes.
That's right.
So that's a major increase.
Absolutely.
So that's one application. The one on Dufferin had to do with the TRCA report, I believe.
Yeah, that one is a little bit different. One is because that area has always been said to be open space. And TRCA has, for the longest time, has said it's open space. And all of a sudden now, with a change of hands of the ownership, they came in, they somehow got a settlement with TRCA. TRCA all of a sudden now is saying that, no, it's okay, you can build, you can bring in low density. So the OMB decision has come in and saying that certain part of it is low density, certain part of it is low density with a special study, and certain part is open space. So the issue is that the residents living around the area, one, they have always thought, and rightly so, been told that there's nothing supposed to be built behind your homes. Now they're told there's something going to be built. And on top of the fact, now the applicant has come in and says, well, I want 106 townhome units. Well, that's quite ridiculous, especially with the homes there. The frontage is about 30 to 40 meters frontage. So they're coming in with something much smaller, so it's not comparable.
Are the residents organized properly so that they can somehow be able to influence council decision, or well, I guess it's too late at the OMB because there's no appeal process from the people.
No, you can't appeal that one.
But could they be able to affect the position of council on the matter and make a difference in what's going to go there?
Well, I've had meetings with them, and in fact, what I had suggested at that meeting is that we come back together a working group. Okay. A working group is basically taking a selection of a few of the people from the residents, whoever would represent those streets, and working with us as a city, with our planners, with our staff, and as well with the applicant and his planner, and come up with a compromise that is going to be the best for the community.
That's the formula for this development on that frame. What would you recommend to the region, anywhere in the region of York, where that issue is, because it is all over the region, this infilling development or infill development? What would you tell them to do to best organize themselves?
I really think that the best thing to do is to work with the applicant to try to come up with something good. The worst thing to do, I really think, is to let it allow to go to OMB. Once you go to OMB, you lose control. Once you lose control, the person, the board, whoever's sitting there, he's going to one that's going to make a decision. And he doesn't know, he or she, I should say, doesn't know the area because they don't live in this area. You are the resident. You know your area the best. So let's work with the applicant into the best to make sure that it's...
Well, the OMB would use planning arguments to make a decision.
Only that, yes.
While the member of the council would use planning argument, but also the reality in the area which they represent.
That's right.
And so normally would be better results for the residents, wouldn't it?
Normally it's always better when you have. Now, there are always situations where maybe it is best for the OMB. And so, I mean, I know that you're going to be talking a little later on it, but the fact that OMB reform is being talked about right now is that is the OMB, what their role is, are they doing the role or are they overstretching themselves and doing something that they shouldn't be doing? So that's another discussion, of course, on that.
It is an important discussion. We will have to end this, but I know we will be discussing the OMB shortly. So please tune in and see what we have to say on this topic, but also on the OMB topic, so that together we will understand better how we can address this important issue in our region, quite frankly, in our neighborhood. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.